What's up everyone, my name's Al from Games Rip. That's right, we're beating shit up again, this time in Beats of Rage, the Battletoads game. Battletoads Beats of Rage. If you really did find Battletoads that damn hard back in the day, which let's face it, it is a damn hard game, well, that's right, there's a Beats of Rage. And it's a little bit easier, so, you know, if you love the characters, you love the kind of scenery, etc., I think you're going to like this. Let's take a look. So yeah, that's right, this week we're looking at the Beats of Rage version of Battletoads. Now, Battletoads came out in 1991 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, published by Trade West, and actually basically created or produced by Rare. Now obviously, like I said, this game was notoriously known for its difficulty, but is the Beats of Rage any better or even easier than the original? Let's take a look. So this is it, nice little intro. This is actually a really decent intro to a Beats of Rage game. Some of them aren't absolute fantastic. This one really is. It even gives you a choice of NTSC, a demo version, a full version, then a PAL demo, and the PAL version, which is a really good place to start. Now, I don't believe that's the actual main tune for Battletoads. I'm pretty sure it wasn't that, but really cool intro music. And now we're straight into the game here, where you've got a selection of the actual levels themselves. Now, as you may not know, there's a few different characters here from basically other games, and it also features the main guy from Comix Zone. So slightly odd, but slightly kind of cool. As per normal, we're straight onto the character select screen where you got the main three Battletoads people. As you said, right there, you got the Comix Zone guy, as well as a zombie. I mean, I don't really know where the zombie comes from, unless it's from the Comix Zone game, which I'm pretty sure it's not. Anyway, it's a weird mashup where, you know, basically you've got a mismatch of the Battletoads characters, the Comix Zone guy, and yeah, it's a weird mix, but as you're about to see, it really does work quite well. Now, the Dreamcast version actually came out very, very early on in 2006. That's right, so this game, quick maths, is 15 years old. That's right, 15 years old this game's been around for, and it really, in my opinion, is one of the best versions of a Beats of Rage game. Now, there's tons out there that have been worked on and ported over by Ian Michael, but this is the Neil Quartet or Cortlet version, or, you know, Beats of Rage handled by him, or the port, I should say, handled by him. But this version was actually originally done by BWWD. Now, I haven't done much sort of looking into who BWWD is, so I'm not entirely sure whether he or her actually went and, you know, done a load of Beats of Rage games, but this is the one I've obviously found by them, and obviously because I'm a fan of Battletoads, I had to check it out, and I have to say, straight off the bat, I absolutely love it. Now, straight off the bat, the reason I love it so much is just the fact it works just so damn fluidly. You can really see right here that it's just so seamless. There's no sort of jerkiness, there's no freezing, it just flows, and that makes a Beats of Rage game really, really palpable, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work smoothly and it doesn't flow, i.e. your hits don't align properly, etc, etc, then it just doesn't make a good Beats of Rage game. Now, clearly this doesn't really follow much of a story, but does that really matter when all this really is a cool beat 'em up with a Battletoads sort of skin on top? Other cool things is you obviously get pickups here, and as you can see right here, I kind of got a laser assault rifle, but you can also pick up things like blades, etc. So, another cool thing, another shout back to essentially how most Beats of Rage games work. Now the game we have here does have 5 different modes. Now I'm only checking out essentially, I'll call it arcade mode. It's just the standard kind of story mode. There are, like I said, 5 other different modes you can deep dive into. But for this review, we won't be looking at them. Because at the end of the day, this kind of story mode is the mode that most people want to check out. So obviously there is a bit more replayability when it comes to this game, which is fantastic. So the enemy types all do vary from the standard rats to kind of these, let's call them, I just think they look like flying toasters. These are probably the worst of the type of characters or the type of, enemies you get in this game. Apart from that, the enemies are pretty solid, but these are they're just a bit annoying. It's not that you can't hit them, but they kind of shoot a bit too often to the point where it just gets annoying. Now what I would say, what I've played of this, which is basically the entire game, is it does just, like I said, it just flows. The controls just feel so solid. I mean, all I'm using here is the D-pad and a couple buttons, but that's really all you need for a Beats of Rage game anyway. And it just works. It just feels so smooth. And I think what they've really done here is they've stuck to the source material, or the characters from the Battletoads games. And yeah, I don't know. It's one way you could tell a lot of thought was put into this before it actually got released and actually made, because it really does just flow and work that damn well. Now it doesn't take long for the difficulty to actually ramp up, and in fact after you're through stage 1, it really does start to become hordes. That's right, we're talking hordes of enemies at a time, and at the end of each stage there is obviously the inevitable boss battles. They obviously happen, which obviously they take longer to kill, but once you're through there, that's it. You're getting harder and harder and harder, oi oi, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't be a decent Beats of Rage game if it didn't get harder the further you went. And then the further you are into it, you start to get these levels that they are essentially, they just become platformers. They're no longer really beats, or, they're no longer beat-em-ups, but there is elements of beat-em-ups as you go on, if that makes sense. So you're obviously moving to the right, and then you're literally dodging things, or you're speed running to jump things. Just remember, this happened in the Battletoads games. There was always areas where you'd be in a vehicle where you have to time your jumps, etc. This applies here as well. And the thing is, you can actually get stuck. I found myself finding this really, really hard at one point, to the point where I nearly threw my controller across the room. Luckily though, I didn't do that. But I will say it does get frustrating, but again, an element of difficulty that we don't normally get. Now what I will say, there is multiplayer here as well, so if you want to get a couple friends around to play this, you absolutely can, which is great. Now I can only see that this works as 2-player, although it does in the readme file say it can work 4-player. So obviously I haven't been able to test this, I don't have 4 controllers, but it would be interesting to see if this actually is 4 players, because if it is, this would be one hell of a game to get your mates around to play and absolute kick the ass out of it. It does also include, or allow, Rumble Pack support as well, which is fantastic, because not that many games really even boast about it. So the fact a Beats of Rage game does, but was ported over to the Dreamcast, is another great reason to pick this up. Now I hope you've liked this nice little look at Battletoads, the Beats of Rage game for the Sega Dreamcast. Like I said, this is actually in fact one of the best Beats of Rage games I've ever played. I know I'm probably really putting this one up on a pedestal, but I'm pretty sure most of you who will play this will probably agree with me. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of projects that's come after this. So like I said, because it's been 15 years, there's tons that's followed this, but this is one of the greats. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you all soon. You can now support the channel on patreon.com/GamesRip, as well as remember to like, comment and subscribe.